Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Shining Lights New England. I'm Deb Burton, your host. I'm also the executive director of RI Elder Info. And every week I come on Shining Lights New England to interview an organization that is doing some really fabulous things that the community needs to know about. And this would not be possible without the support of our sponsor. So let me give you a sec to hear a word from our sponsor, and then we can get right to the show.
Welcome to Community Solar. Did you know that your organization could save 10% on their energy bills just by subscribing to shares in local solar farms at no cost? It's true. State community solar programs accelerate the development of clean energy sources and are designed to help you save money. At Fuse Energy, our goal is to connect every nonprofit, house of worship, and municipality with the energy savings they deserve so you can put those resources back where they belong, serving your community. Contact us today to find out more.
All right. I would like to welcome this week's guest, Brooke Fairman from the Rhode Island SPCA. Hi, Brooke.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. Very good. So
Yeah.
Rhode Island SPCA, Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. What is happening over at the RI SPCA these days?
Well, let me start by saying it's funny, and I just want to quickly throw this in here, but we've been around since 1870. Really started back with horses and other all kinds of animals and protecting and caring for animals. But I love to say, and I even made the mistake myself today by saying ASPCA, and so many people do get confused between the ASPCA and the SPCA. So I just want to clarify that we are just the Rhode Island SPCA on our own, not national or anything. And we have been doing, protecting and caring for animals since 1870. Today, and I'll let you, because I know you have a bunch of questions, but today, I do want to say we've come far. We have a beautiful place here in Riverside, Rhode Island, but we just purchased a 29,000 square foot building in Warwick, Rhode Island, where we will be building out an amazing new kennel. And that new kennel will be not only keeping our 40 such dogs, our cats, our small animals. We'll be having a huge vet clinic, which is very much dedicated to those of us who can't necessarily afford to get the vet services we'd like to for our dogs. And that really includes people who are, homeless, the elders. I mean, there's a lot of work that needs to be done with that. We will be keeping this old building and we will be making it a little bit nicer, but it will be predominantly for those dogs. We have to do a little more behavioral work, and those dogs that need to be quarantined if they're sick or something like that, because the new building is really going to be amazing.
So you've been around for maybe not you personally, but the Rhode Island SPCA has been around for over 150 years.
Correct.
That is absolutely amazing. And I would imagine, back in 1870, people didn't necessarily think of their dogs and cats in the same way that we do now, where they really are, part of our family. How have things changed? Are you seeing an increased need? Are there, more people who are maybe needing to surrender their animals or maybe not taking care of their animals in the way that they should? Is that increasing?
Yes. So let me say this. And you mentioned something earlier before this started. One of the issues is that during COVID, people are lonely. So people want a new cat or a dog, or they're willing to do this and they have the time to do it. And then all of a sudden they don't anymore because they're going back to work. Mm-hmm. So you do see an increase to a certain extent. That's not as much to say that we also see so much more. Let me back up and say this. We are the only shelter in the state of Rhode Island that has our own animal cruelty program. So we have agents that go out, and you've probably seen, anybody who's looked in the paper has seen where ritualistic events are happening, and we're going in and uncovering them. And it's chickens' heads being cut off, or lambs being murdered, or all kinds of things. So we are the only organization, I'll say it again, in this state that deals with that. And so we've gotten a lot more from things like that too, where we go into these homes, and next thing you know, we've got 30 dogs that are beaten to death practically, and we need to re-nurse them to health and find them a good home. So it's a combination, but COVID was not easy.
No.
COVID was not easy, and I'm to blame. I mean, I did the same thing. I adopted a couple of things that were COVID, and I was like, oh no, I can't handle it anymore.
Wow. So do you have an enforcement agency? Are you the one that worked with the law enforcement?
We work with law enforcement, but we have 2 general agents that work directly here.
Okay.
So Tammy and Earl, and actually our newest appeal, which will be going out in the next couple weeks, is going to talk all about Tammy and Earl and all the amazing things we do. Awesome. But it's very important because none of the other shelters in this state have it.
Okay. Now, here in Rhode Island, you mentioned, a lot of folks adopted animals throughout the pandemic, and we hear a lot about bringing animals up from the south to help them avoid shelters that may put them down. Does Rhode Island have any policies regarding no-kill shelters here in the state, or is it kind of every shelter is a little bit different?
I believe every shelter is a little bit different. Mm-hmm. The no-kill shelter policy for us, I mean, we believe we are a no-kill shelter because we're under the percentage in which, I think the percentage in which you can or cannot put an animal down that makes you a no-kill shelter. However, there are times when you absolutely 100% have to consider that. And so I think, if you asked our president, he would say, I hate that verbiage, no-kill shelter, because what does it really mean?
Yeah, and I can understand too that sometimes, animals are really ill, and it is the most compassionate thing. So when you bring in animals out of situations into the shelter, what does it take for people to be able to adopt their new fur baby? What is the criteria to be an adopter from the Rhode Island SPCA?
One of the things I think we do really well, and probably many of the other organizations do as well, is to sort of decide what kind of parent does this animal need? Mm-hmm. Can this animal be with cats? Can this animal be with dogs? Can this animal be with kids? And to really present it like that. Because yes, you are going, you'll have a family. I mean, I remember when I was young getting bitten by this beautiful black lab right in my chin, and that black lab stayed at that home forever, and that's just the way. And the black lab was fine. I was a jerk, likely. But so you have to look at really, we try and make it as important as we can. And so, there's an application. It is very well stated in the application. This dog's a jumper. You better have a 6-foot fence. This dog's a food guarder. This dog would do best without kids. All of those things need to be very well brought out to the open. And then we give, of course, people a chance. Take them home, see what you think. And gosh, Deb, sometimes it's so crazy because you have people, they'll take a dog home, best dog ever. Like it refuses to not sleep in our bed. We can't have it. So it comes back. And those are things that break your heart,
Sometimes humans are the most odd creatures on the planet.
I'm 100% on that. But, we all try our best, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
So what does the RI SPCA count as some of your biggest successes?
I've been here not all that long. I actually was the director of development at the zoo before here. So, but I will say, I think it's one of our big, and these are successes that are way before me or my time, but, how can you be around since 1870 still doing the same thing?
True enough.
Who are there? There's nobody, right? And who really, I think one of their other biggest successes to a certain extent is they've stayed the mom and pop shop they've always been. That doesn't say it doesn't drive me crazy sometimes, because I think you've got to move along and be a little more stringent and whatever. You know how the world is. I mean, you can't speak, you can't do this to animal, it's difficult. But I think that, we've really chosen to stay the course of who we are, and the bottom line are the animals.
Yep.
I think the fact that we have, by the grace of God or whoever, been given such a large amount of funds from people who have passed away, legacy money that they have given to us, they're the ones who have put us in the position to go buy this building.
That is awesome. Yeah. And you mentioned in your new building that you're going to have a much larger veterinary clinic. I've heard tell that there are some resources available if folks maybe don't have the money to get the care that their animal needs. I have a friend who, unfortunately, his dog had a negative interaction with another dog, and he didn't really have the financial resources to get his dog the care it needed, and was able to tap into some fund that the SPCA has.
That is absolutely correct. So we do, and don't quote me on any numbers here, because I'm not good with this one, but we absolutely, our vet clinic is for the underserved.
Okay.
There's two very important things we do. And in this new building, our vet clinic is really going to be, not to say that if you adopt an animal there, that you can't go and bring them there. You can, but you're probably going to pay the normal price if you're the normal person. But if you are someone who falls into a certain category, you are absolutely going to get help. And the coolest thing that I'm so excited about and really looking to get more money for is we have seen so many people who are homeless and who are under real hardship from abusive relationships. And let me tell you, when a household becomes abusive, the dog or the cat is not left alone. It's not just the kid. It's not just the spouse, right?
Yeah.
So for us, we really are trying to raise as much money as we can so that when a family is struggling like that, we can take that animal until the courts decide daddy or mommy have to go or whatever it is. So we house those animals for free. We give them medicine. We feed them. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? Your pets are so much a part of your family. And that, unfortunately, in situations that involve violence in the home, you're right, the animals are not exempt, but it's a wonderful opportunity for one's fur babies to be safe as the humans navigate what can be a very turbulent system.
Exactly.
Does the Rhode Island SPCA also provide any kind of similar services for maybe an older adult who has to go in for surgery, but they need to do some
It's
rehab
exactly the
after.
same. It is exactly the same. So, especially with elders, it's so hard because they don't want to say, you know, they know that they're at that point where they can't really walk the animal or deal with the animal. And if they have to go in and have things done, that is same program.
Yep.
So much of that we will do for the elderly. We have a gentleman now who's, in a rehab for walking, whatever. It doesn't even matter what
Yeah.
it is. Dog's been here a while. He's calling all the time. Don't worry. We're not doing anything with your dog. We're
Yeah.
taking care of your dog. We're doing everything we can. So we do. We
Do you
do. And
do
we're looking.
cats too?
Excuse me?
Cats? I said, do
Oh,
you
yes.
also do
Dog,
that for
cat.
cats?
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
we also do small animals.
Oh, awesome.
So rabbits and whatever. But I was just going with the more
Yeah.
likely. But no, and that's something that when we open this new building, and we're really going to be looking for more space for those. It's called hardship boarding.
Okay.
So we're really going to be looking for, we're looking at grants and some of the, Rhode Island foundations of the world. We're looking for help with hardship boarding because that's really important.
Absolutely. So Brooke, if people who are watching wanted to support the work that the RI SPCA is doing, whether it be for providing the hardship boarding for animals that are in a situation, where the owner, for whatever reason, for a short period of time, isn't able to care for them, or in situations where you have to go in and rescue animals from very bad situations. If the viewers wanted to support the RI SPCA, how can they do that? Do they donate cash? Do they volunteer? Do you have fundraisers coming up? What's best?
There's a million ways. So, I can tell you, go on our website, www.rispca.com. Call me 401-228-3316. I love to talk about the different things. I love to have people come see, and really just figure out what's the right thing for you. Because some people may not be able to volunteer, but they may have money.
Right.
And some might not have money and be able to volunteer. And you know what? There's no difference. It's just like a donor. I look at a donor. You can give $1, you can give $1 million. You're still a donor, and you don't know in the end.
That's it. And it can make a tremendous difference in very many living creatures' lives, from the humans in need to the dogs and cats and small animals and other things that are in need. So, Brooke, I am really glad that you were able to come on today and share what the RI SPCA is doing.
Sorry for the shed of tears, but it's tough.
No, it's perfectly understandable. I mean, you deal with some really unfortunate situations sometimes, but what would be the alternative if the RI SPCA wasn't there?
There is not one. I mean, there's some, but there is not one that does what we do.
Yeah. So I'm really glad you were able to come on today. Thank you.
And thank you so much for having me. And I can't wait to see you again.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
So everybody, it's amazing what all the different programs are that the RI SPCA really helps to take care of the variety of animals in so many different situations. Some of them unfortunate, some of them not so unfortunate, but it takes a village to take care of all those little fur babies. And I'm a fur mom of 4, and I understand how much they are a part of the family. So if you want to support the RI SPCA, I really do encourage you to check it out. So I look forward to seeing you all again at the next Shining Lights New England. And in the meantime, be well and be kind.